Good evening. I'm going to be discussing the articles on the multifaceted nature of reading comprehension. They were by Keynes and Barnes, Perfetti and Starfura, and Ellen and Compton. All of these were done between 2017, 2014, 2016. They dissect let me go back. Kane and Barners dissects the developmental timeline of reading comprehension, highlighting the interplay between vocabulary, interference, making, and background knowledge. Perfetti and Satura present the lexical quality hypothesis, emphasizing how the depth and precision of word knowledge directly affect reading comprehension. And I definitely agree with that. Just affect comprehension. And I definitely agree with that because if you don't understand what word means, you will not understand the entirety of what is being written and how to apply it. Kendu offered a cognitive framework for understanding comprehension difficulties, focusing on the interaction between text processing and existing knowledge structure. And that's true because if you don't have anything in that foundation, then how will you be able to continue to add on to more knowledge? Kane shifts from theory to practice, discussing intervention that supports comprehension development. Connor describes the Connor describes the comprehension tools for teachers, also known as CIT model, showing how differentiated instruction can bolster understanding from the early grades, and that's also probably the reason why we also do well when I was doing it, why they do the dibbles as well. Then Carr and Kamani argue that reading comprehension is not a monolithic skill, but a constellation of cognitive and linguistic processes. Ellerman and Compton suggested that instruction must move beyond traditional strategy teaching to include interventions targeting language and knowledge deficits. And that will also definitely affect the slow learner and those that are in special ed or might be even being referred to special ed. Then the main recurring theme that keeps going is there is not a single skill to address reading to to address reading comprehension or just comprehension, but it's a dynamic interplay of cognitive and linguistic components. And that includes vocabulary, inferencing, inference making, decoding, background knowledge, and working memory. And I can't say from teaching children as a speech therapist that especially here in the South, the idioms and the making the inferences, some of them just cannot do it. They just can't get it. And it's just really hard for them because if they can't do that, then it's very hard for them to even understand what they're reading or how to even make sense of it or to even see another part that the author is writing about. Another key theme is importance of early, targeted, and differentiated instruction that goes beyond surface level comprehension strategies. The research also consistently points to the importance of vocabulary depth and lexical quality, a foundation for a deeper comprehension. That was the main theme that was noticed throughout. The connection. These insights are crucial for shaping instruction for diverse classrooms. For example, understanding the comprehension difficulties may stem from language limitations and also as opposed to poor strategy use, and also it can inform the development of mere effective supports for the English language learner and students with language impairments. So that will cover the special need kids and those that again do not have, because a lot of languages just don't have as many meanings as we do in the English language. Educators must integrate a a very rich curriculum to help those that need to have this deficit. And again, everything starts in the early ages of which I'm definitely familiar with that as a speech therapist, because when kids had speech problems, you had to get them early. That's why they always try to now make sure that there's a speech therapist wherever there's a pre-K class. Because if you can catch those language deficits early and even speech problems, then there's a greater chance that those children will not end up having problems as it relates to reading, making sounds, and understanding sight words. The readings also highlight the value of formative assessment tools like the ones in the CTT model to guide instruction tailored to students' specific comprehension needs. This body of research challenges educators to rethink comprehension instructions, not just the teaching strategies, but building on the full cognitive linguistic achievement in all students and as well as for understanding the text. So, overall, this was a very interesting read because, again, it started talking about all the foundations of semantics, which is what I learned a lot in speech therapy. And it's from what I can see in these readings, is that this is extremely, extremely important, which of course I knew as well because it's just very important. And then the one thing I did notice is that even with these readings, a lot of these the researchers came back and they kind of all found some kind of common ground to agree on, and most of it was starting with the early language and also getting the comprehension tools so that teachers can be able to read. And then of course the literacy rich environments are just definitely important, because if you don't have those, then it's just no way for the kids to be able to understand and to be able to to make sense of what they're reading so that they can become fluent readers. So that was my STC on the readings that we had to do for this week. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.